5 years ago, I had a crazy idea and I want to completely transform my body, including my glutes. But first, let me give you some context and a backstory. I'm Laura. Now I'm a degree qualified exercise physiologist and sports nutritionist, but back in my early 20s, I was riddled with self-doubt. I called myself fat in every reflection, and I had a really poor body image. Anytime I saw my stomach, I would body check to see if it had gotten bigger. After many meltdowns on Friday nights when I would try on about 10 outfits and just feel like I had nothing that fit me, I would feel so uncomfortable. I knew something had to change. And now I'm currently on a mission to look better in my 30s than I did at 25 with no extremes and no calorie counting. Right now it's week 14 and I'm so excited to bring you along and tell you the story about how I was able to transform my glutes with this specific workout. Here is when it all fell apart. I thought the way to get toned was to burn as many calories as I could and eat as little as possible because calorie deficit, right? So my workouts looked something like this. After every workout, I would always spend 20 minutes either on the incline treadmill or the Stairmaster. I would make sure that I would go for a run at least once or twice a week. And then with my strength training sessions, I always did more than 7 exercises. However, I was putting in all of this effort with my workouts, but I still hated what I saw in the mirror. I still picked my body apart. So 2 years into my degree, everything started to make sense. I finally found out the answer to the question of what is the best exercise to see your body change, to get lean, to get lifted glutes. And it's not cardio, it's not spending hours on the Stairmaster, it's actually strength training. And you might be thinking, but cardio HIIT, Stairmaster burns more calories than what lifting weights does. And yeah, you're right. It does. But however, the thing with having rounded glutes and a toned body is that you need to build muscle. So doing workouts that actually burn a lot of calories is actually counterproductive in alignment with that specific goal. And then when you look at the actual science, you'll see that only 5% of your daily calorie burns comes from exercise. So calories that you're burning in the cardio session don't move the needle near as much as what your nutrition and your daily movement do. So in order to get lean, you need the two things. You need to have your nutrition take care of the calorie deficit, not your exercise routine. And then your exercise routine is there to help you tone and shape your body by building muscle. Because if you're not prioritizing lifting weights when you are trying to transform your body, then you'll lose muscle. So then when you eat in a calorie deficit and lose weight, you'll lose muscle and fat. So your body composition won't look any different. You'll just be a smaller version of yourself. So that's why we need to make sure that we're building muscle whilst in a calorie deficit. And that is why strength training is the best type of exercise if you're going through a body composition transformation. So we understand that we need to be lifting weights, but it's not just about lifting weights, it's how you're lifting weights is the most important thing if you want to transform your glutes and your entire body. So these are the 3 things that you need to have in order to see the change that you want. So with your glute workout, it's really, really important that you start applying progressive overload. And what that means is improving, whether that's weights, reps, range of motion over time. Because if you don't have that constant stimulus, then your muscles are not going to get the signal that they need to grow, get bigger, aka tone. That doesn't mean that you're getting bulky. That means you're getting more fit, defined look. So how do you apply progressive overload? Essentially, you need to be following an exercise program where you are doing the same exercise for at least 4 weeks in a row. When it comes to glute training, you want to prioritize 4 different movements. The first one is a lunge squat variation. We can do Bulgarian lunges, walking lunges, step ups, goblet squats, back squats. We want to be doing this at least twice a week. So you're going to pick 2 variations. You're going to put that in your program, and then you're going to stick to that and improve every single week. So say we pick week 1, we do 8 on each side with 10 kilos. And week 2, we do 8 on each side with 12 kilos. 1 kilo difference, but it's that constant little progression that's going to help you break down your muscles so they break down, and then we repair them with your nutrition. Now, the second thing that you need to master to actually see results from your glute workouts is time under tension and making sure that you're actually feeling the working muscle in the movement. So now let's pick the next exercise to build out the workout. So we've got our squat variation. The next one is going to be our hip thrust or glute bridge variation. This is where we're training the glutes through hip extension. So again, we're going to be picking 2 variations of these. We've got hip thrusts, we've got single leg hip thrust, B stance hip thrust. We have barbell glute bridges, dumbbell glute. So again, we're picking 2 of these exercises. We're going to do it twice a week. And then the most important thing is making sure that you are focusing on your form. You need to be making sure that you're feeling your glute muscles and making sure you're putting the muscle under tension throughout the movement, because you can smash out 10 reps, but if you can't feel the muscles actually contracting and actually pushing the muscles close to failure, then they're not going to change. So that's why it's really important before you progress is making sure that you can do the full range of motion with the correct technique and focus on your form and feel the right muscles before you progress. Now, the last thing that you need with your glute workouts is structure and being consistent with the same thing over time. That's why following a program is so important for your success. So let's pick the next variation. It's going to be our deadlift variation. So RDLs, deadlifts, back extensions, single leg deadlifts, B stance deadlifts, stiff legged deadlifts. So again, we're going to pick 2 of those and we're going to do those twice a week. And then because you have the structure, you're going to be doing the same thing, is then you can apply that progressive overload. Now, the last exercise movement that you're going to pick for your perfect glute workout is going to be an abduction. This is really important if we want to grow the top and the shelf of our glutes so we can really optimize for a round butt. My favorite ones of these is a cable abduction, or I love utilizing the seated hip abduction, because when you're choosing your exercises, you really want to make sure that you're hitting every single head of the glutes. And if you combined these 4 movement patterns, then you are going to get a perfectly round, juicy butt. Then the last thing that we need to add to all of this is that recovery is king. Your nutrition, of course, is so important to support your glute workout, but it's also so important to optimize your energy, your mood, your health longevity. I was scrolling on TikTok this morning and I saw that 75% of women are buying supplements that are like $20 for 2 weeks, and they're not even focusing on the basics of balanced nutrition, getting enough sleep, and drinking enough water. You're going to get more bang for your buck than focusing on this than wasting money on supplements that you probably don't even need. Like the only reason why you would need a supplement is if you are deficient in something that has been recommended from your doctor. So please stop wasting your money on those things. So I learned it doesn't matter how consistent you are. If you're consistently doing the wrong thing, then your body composition is never going to change. A good glute workout isn't determined by how sweaty you get or how many calories you burn. It's determined by how well you feel your glutes, how well you push them to failure, how well you are progressing over time, and how strong you are. Because when you nail this is when you are going to get the body and the booty, literally, of your dreams. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you more than you know. Let me know in the comments below if you love this style of content. I'll see you guys in the next one.